PoxUnited here with another commentary. Your host today will be Devrn for our first ever guide, and today I'm going to be talking about the combat log. So let's go ahead and get into a game. Single player. Okay, so for combat log, whenever a game starts, it tells about a faction's bonus or whatever. Hence, here in this case, the computer is playing Third Force, so for Third Force, this unit gains reflexes, its speed increases from the Third Force faction bonus, and for my part, Thunder Lance, the units are protected by Dragon Hide, which is my defense is increased by the Thunder Lance faction bonus. So, I have 20%, like, I take 20% less damage before defense, of course, with a minimum reduction of 1. Then for Third Force, you get +1 speed and +1 maximum speed. So for like this, it also increases your speed, but the amount of AP you can actually save is increased as well. So let's start with I think about it. I've never seen that champ. This is my first time seeing this champ. Anyways, so whenever a champ is deployed, it tells you what's been deployed or whatnot. And for this is just my shrine taking damage because I scried. And go ahead and deploy it. This game tells me what happened. What it tells me when I deployed. And it also tells you whose turn it is right here. Well, obviously you can just look here and whatnot to see whose turn it is, but combat log also tells you whose turn it is. Let's try it again. And I grab a font. Then for this, it does a sand what is it? Sand val, so it pretty much is 10 spaces. Yes, 10 spaces is covered with sand for 3 turns, and it tells you right here, covers the ground with sand. It's not as whoa, getting tongue-tied there, my bad. It's not as specific in the combat log though, so you usually gotta read the champ's abilities and whatnot to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Ardent Tunnel 3, rank 3. It tells you right here. I granted it the power to tunnel through sand, and I tunnel when I actually execute the ability. And whenever two champs get close to each other or just like are adjacent to each other, they become engaged. As you can tell right here, the two are engaged. And once you're engaged, you can't disengage until next turn. Well, I didn't mean to attack, but yeah, you can't engage. I'll show it next turn. Well, I can't engage next turn, but and also it tells you how much damage is taken in combat log. It also shows it in game right here on the sprites, but you can look at the combat log too, and it tells you like if a champ has any passive abilities, it'll tell you right here. So I siphoned off of him, so I healed a little bit, but I'm full HP, so I don't need a heal. And I tell it again, and my Doomwalker is also engaged. Then I'm going to deploy Initiative Champ. For Initiative Champ, it's been changed since from a while back, where like if there's just one champ out, you automatically get 7 AP. That's how Initiative used to be. Now you got rank 1 and rank 2. For rank 2, when this champ is deployed, it gains 2 AP for each opposing champion in play to a maximum 7 AP. So 7 AP is still the cap, but depending on if it has rank 2 or rank 1, that depends on how much AP it gets. It it can be debated if whether this was a buff or not, but in my opinion, it was a buff considering the faction I play in, because Strandlands is late game, so I'm not going to be deploying initiative champs much anyways. I don't deploy initiative champs much anyways. Well, I do sometimes, but 2 AP first turn, 4 AP is still not bad, so it tells you right here, I deploy a harb to the field. Well, it doesn't say that. It used to, I don't think it says that anymore, but it used to say takes the initiative right here in the combat log. I don't know why it doesn't do that anymore. And it also has the ability to scry rank 2. So I'm able to reveal 2 runes once I deploy this champ. And then I attack from range. And once again, it tells you how much damage it takes in the combat log and whatnot, and what champ took that damage. Now it's his turn. And he deploys a snake skin dancer. A snake dancer right here, as you can see. Okay, and here we go. So he attacked my Ardent, but he made a berserk attack. Berserk attack is the same principle as a basic attack, except for his ability, so you can't target things with impenetrable and stuff with it, and it lowers your defense by 2, but it gives you a nice damage bonus, so you can hit for 4 extra bonus. 4 extra damage. And as you can see, it took 12 damage, and it tells you right here that he made a berserk attack and not just a regular physical attack. And I became defiant in the face of aggression, and I gained Rock Eater, which means for all physical damage attacks, I heal instead of taking damage. And he took 5 life. The reason he lost 5 life is because of Heart Strike. At the end of my opponent's turn, his champion loses 5 life. And right here, it says my Ardent has regenerated, so that means I healed. And I healed for 6 because of my SL bonus. SL, it also gives you a rank of regeneration, so I already have regeneration rank 2, so it gave me regeneration rank 3. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. I spent 2 AP and I disengage. So it takes 2 AP to disengage, and it tells you right here that I disengage. Anything that has any, what I'm trying to think of, whatever, but anything that has anything to do with AP is always going to be green. The letters are always going to be green. That's why with a take the initiative, it's green. So I'll show you right here. Anyways, right here, became engaged, and see, I cannot disengage until next turn because I engaged this turn, and it tells you right here in the combat log that you cannot disengage. And it's showing you right here the AP saving up and all the faction bonuses and whatnot. It's showing you right here. So he lost another 5. Wait, what did he lose 5 AP? Oh, he lost 2. It's not telling you some things in the combat log, but combat log needs some fixing, but it comes in handy a little bit here and there, so you can't complain too much. So go ahead and double tap, which tells you right. Okay. I don't understand, but okay. Go ahead and get the globe. Now, here's what happened. I healed, and I recovered 14 ore from a Nora globe. So, whenever you get a Nora globe, it tells you right here whenever you get a Nora globe. No matter what. It tells you exactly how much you get. And usually, based off of that, you can make your assumptions whenever you're in a desperate need of Nora or anything. Look at the combat log and try to get a general um, conclusion on how much a Nora globe is going to be. A certain size Nora globe, depending on how big it is, how small it is, and in between and whatnot. But you won't always be on point. You can only make a guess, an educated guess. That's all you could. But that's the best you can do, unless you know, like, go against a certain champ for like a long period of time. Then you could probably guess how much Nora it will drop. But other than that, you really can't find out how much Nora it is. Okay, so let's continue. I'll draw ahead, drop Snogby. It does AoE. It has a ability called Sonic Greeting, which does 5 sonic damage to every single champ on the or opposing, not friendly, and becomes distracted too. As you can see right here, I deployed Snogby, the Ant Bear, and I shock my opponents with a static greeting. So, and everything takes 5 damage on his side, as you can see, and it becomes distracted. Takes 5 damage, becomes distracted. So, also, when anything takes damage, it shows up in red. Right here, as you can tell. Shows up in red whenever anything takes damage. Go ahead and end my turn. And when turns are switching between players, it's yellow. And when it's just talking about general things, it's going to be blue. Well, this computer's taking its time. So nothing new there. Well, what? Ah, man, I forgot this is that old map, so I pretty much. Okay, I know what I can do. As you can see, it's just talking about general things, and I'm granting my ardent abilities, and I execute the ability, and engaged it. Well, the combat log doesn't tell everything like this. Fury, violent, which is the Drake Scar is a racial. Whenever it's in 2 spaces of another Drake Scar, it gets violent. I mean fury. So 1 damage every time you attack. It's a pretty neat ability. So when, alright, let's go back up. That's just talking about something dying. And that's just when I'm not clicking on anything. I just do this and not just clicking around. It just says I can't attack it. And this is something. This is like, I don't know, when you're trying to, when you don't have enough AP, disengaging and stuff. That's when the letters are gonna be yellow. And this is talking about general stuff. It's evasive, so it takes less damage, which cuts my. It has evasive 3, I believe. Yes, so he takes less half damage from range attacks. And here we go again with the globes, telling you how much globes I get. And I deploy Valdak to the field. Now it's his turn, which is yellow. This is just more general stuff. It's telling me the effects, like I've been poisoned, I've been ensnarled, Ensnared and Defiant. It's just telling my passive abilities what are happening right now. Then it tells how his champ's just stealth. And here's an ability right here, Healing Breath. Oh, my bad. For red, this talks about anything combat related. So healing. Well, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know myself. But just assume that anything combat related, healing, anything that has to do with stuff dying and healing and all that. Also, where was it? Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, the combat log. Like whenever something happens, no matter how petty it is, it's gonna show up. It's gonna keep making the combat log go down and down and down, just keep showing you what happened and what happened. So it's hard to look up to see what happened when there's a lot of things going on in the game. You can't really tell. So you gotta be careful with that. And I was just talking about precision, just more general stuff. So when you're looking at the combat log, you gotta be quick about it. Here, let's see what I can do. Let's see. Just granting abilities once again. And that just casts a spell, Quicken, which allows me to double tap. It shows the sword right here, and it dies. Go ahead and get that globe once again. And the turn's ending. Here again, we're showing what the dots and whatnot. And that's an ability, Fascinate, which pulls everything into me. And I also have Defying Aura, which distracts everything in 4 spaces and also does 3 sonic damage. And I take 4 poison damage from a dot. And that's pretty much all just happened. And I pulled it to engage me, so he's engaging me now. Go ahead and engage with him. And let's do this. Granting abilities once again. And executing. Oh, here's a big one. Here's when looking at the combat log comes in handy. Always comes in handy. It's right here when you go against angels. You'll see in a few. I'll get that globe. Take some dots. No longer ensnarled. Alright, here's a big one. When you're going against angels, you always want to make sure you're looking at that combat log. Because if you don't look at that combat log and you make a mistake, you can fuck yourself over. Here, as it explains. Angel War will intensify in 4 rounds from now, which is equivalent to 8 turns. So, when dealing with the angel, you just gotta make sure, back what I said, not 8 turns, your 8 turns, 8 turns in total. So, look at that. You always want to make sure you don't want to, when is it going to intensify, because you don't want to mess a turn up, because when people don't look at that turn, I mean the combat log for when it's going to intensify, they usually mess up and don't even kill the angel. But sometimes people also miscount, or misread it, and actually think it says turns instead of rounds, so they attempt to kill it or something, or leave it half dead. Not half dead, but with 1 HP with poison or disease on it or something, and it intensifies because it's going to intensify before those take effect. So you got always got to be careful with that because that's the most common mistake when it comes to angels in the combat log. People don't look at it and they don't know it's going to intensify, and it's hectic. It was most recently added too, so to help players out with the combat log, it was just recently added. It's really good. It's really good help. So people don't have to miss. So people can. It's actually beneficial too, because you know what and what not to do with your angel. You don't want, like, if you want to rush it in or not, leave it as a tank because you know it's going to heal. But then again, you can't do that because the only angel you could pretty much expect to live while doing that is Angel Perseverance, unless the person has some, like, legit hard counters that can, like, kill it. Like Tomb of Hate kills you before you intensify, that I know of. I believe um Blight Ring. I'm not, and the most common thing that can kill an angel, dots that can kill angel, is the foul. The foul is like you can't be cleansed, so it doesn't. The intensify doesn't work, pretty much, and you're screwed. Your angel's dead. So here's another passive ability kicking in. As you can see, Angel War is battle leader and rallies all its allies. So all my champs that were damaged are healed for 4 HP, and they also gain 1 damage. It doesn't say that here, as you can tell. It just tells that I healed. Go ahead and attack this and get some more violent off. Yeah, when Draxar gets going, they get going with the violent. Let's see what else I can do. Okay, here's a support champ. So for here, I have drive. It tells you right here, when I drive something, it whips it. Mostly everything that you can see in the combat log, you will see it in the actual gameplay. So probably about 90% of the time, you won't need the combat log once you get more used to the game and get into the game more and get a little bit better. Get your skills up, and you won't need the combat log much. But the only time, the other 10% of the time, you know what, it's not even 90%, maybe about 99% of the time you won't be using the combat log. The only time you'll be using it is for possibly shadow spawn units, stealth units, which goes in the same category as shadow spawn, and when an angel's going to intensify. Those are the 2 most things you're probably going to be looking at the combat log. Most of the other times you won't even need the combat log because you're going to be seeing it in game. That's the biggest advice I can give you right now for that, for the combat log, until it gets better. Because right now the combat log is not the best thing in the world. And I also have command block. Yeah, it tells you right here. It also tells you right here, defensive positions block. It tells you right here, commands fairly used to block. And here's another initiative unit. Oh, and here's an ability, the Skywing ability right here. Skywing Imperator has been imparted with the power of the Skywing, which gives this champ Blitz and aerial supremacy, and he just gains 2 AP. As you can tell right here, the next dragon you deploy from the rune dot gains 2 AP. When this effect triggers, this champion gains Blitz. This champion gets 1 damage for each space it moves until the end of the turn. Okay, we're talking about the combat log. I get to those abilities and whatnot, passive abilities, in another video, in another guide. So right now we're talking about this guy. Okay, so I'm in my turn. As you can tell, yellow switching turns or not. Basic. And you guys will witness a power turn soon. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and drop a quickening. So it tells you right here that I just casted quickening. Drive this Imperator. As you can tells you right here. Whips my Imperator. But unfortunately I'm 1 space off from that shrine. So I'm going to do this. Now that's a bomb right there. I release a Skywing Imperator releases a lightning storm. So anything in probably AoE 2, it gets, you can hit. And it tells you how much damage you took. And I gain health due to Snake Charmer being damaged by electricity because of this ability and this. So it tells you right here that I'm gaining HP, but I'm full HP. Or I thought it was. So and I heal for 2. And that champ becomes shocked, as it tells you right here, which is another dot. And I attack the shrine. And I unleash a lightning blast, which hits champs that are close by. I recover a globe, as you can tell. And I continue to attack the shrine. Then I go in for the kill. It doesn't say when your shrine dies, but... And that is all for the combat log. I hope I was able to help some of you guys if you didn't know about that combat log. And I'm still taking ideas and suggestions for some other guys. So I'll catch you guys another time. See ya.